Airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
This is Duck Insider.
Duck's going to pick it up, and here we go. Got him deep. He's open. He's got it. And he's gone. How about that? Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
Duarte pulls up, 3-ball. Bang!
LJ Figueroa!
Oregon goes back to back for the fourth time in the last 6 years. The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
Foley three. Goal! Foley bomb! Mike Sill fires and hits a three. Left wing. Pow. Yeah, boom, boom.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
What a weekend.
We're just getting started.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Mario Cristobal, the Oregon football head coach, just wrapping up talking with the media. If you are live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, we have 16 minutes of Coach Cristobal giving you updates on spring football, including what potentially that spring game format could look like. More details coming out over the next 10 days as we are 10 days away from the Oregon football spring game. We will have a 2 o'clock broadcast. It's a 2 o'clock start. It's a limited ticket event. More info on GoDucks.com. For claiming tickets, where you can get some tickets, that's what you're going to want to be checking for as the Ducks continue to iron out all the details, and then we've got a spring game coming up on May 1st. Going to hear from Mario Cristobal. Graham Abel, Oregon soccer head coach. We'll talk the other brand of football, actually, as the Ducks wrapped up their first winning season in program, or I should say the first winning season since 2006 for the Oregon soccer program, and it came under first-year head coach Grame Abel. And also Leah Freeman, all Pac-12 honoree in goal. The freshman was absolutely outstanding. We're going to talk with Leah Freeman coming up on the show later on today as well, and some other spring football interviews as Noah Sewell, Jamal Hill, DJ James met with the media today. We'll do our best to multitask. Scott and I will be editing while doing the show and then getting them in, and we may have them for you tomorrow. We'll also do a full preview of Oregon baseball series tomorrow as the Ducks. In the latest Baseball America rankings are the number 10 team overall in the country, and they would be hosting a regional here in Eugene. So keep it going. 6 o'clock first pitch, a 5:45 pregame show on the Oregon Sports Network and the Oregon live stream when the Ducks face UCLA on Friday. Women's tennis, number 40 Oregon women's tennis team opens play at the Pac-12 Championships tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. in San Diego. You can follow along with the Oregon women's tennis Twitter account. Speaking of baseball, a week after being named the Pac-12 Conference Player of the Week, the Bobby Bragan Collegiate Slugger Award named Gabe Matthews its Player of the Week for his outstanding performances. Gabe Matthews hit over 600. Not bad for last week. Sedona Prince, following 4 days of trials that featured 20 athletes, Oregon women's basketball standout Sedona Prince has been named one of 13 finalists for the 2021 USA Basketball Women's America Cup. That's exciting. More details on that coming up. And also 3 athletes named All-Americans: Peyton Kuhn, Alyssa Hugh, and Addie Lacewell for acrobatics and tumbling, as the Ducks will take on Baylor tonight at 5 o'clock in the national semifinal meet. And Oregon got off to a fast start, got the win on Senior Day on the sand yesterday. More details to come for volleyball. There's your open. Now let's hear from Mario Cristobal. Oh, actually, due to potential weather concerns over the weekend, I did not want to miss this. Oregon will now play a doubleheader at Jane Sanders Stadium against Stanford on Friday beginning at 2 o'clock. 2 teams were originally scheduled to play a doubleheader Saturday. Now they will play a single game on Saturday. So schedule update. It's on GoDucks.com. You can find it there. There's all the news. Now let's hear from Mario Cristobal. Do we have a spring game format? He's going to talk to you about that. 16 minutes. Coach Cristobal met with the media today. We have it in its entirety, edited for the greatest hits. What do they say in TV? Edited for content? Is that edited for time and content? Essentially the greatest hits with Mario Cristobal today.
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Wrapping up practice number 10. Really intense physical day, typical time of spring football where we work multiple situations. Heavy emphasis today for you guys to know, of course, always technique and fundamentals, starting with block destruction. Both sides of the ball getting a chance to work on defeating blocks, single blocks, double teams, down blocks, reach blocks, all that stuff, as well as working some of that stuff on the perimeter, letting the skill guys get after it too. Team run play action, multiple personnel groupings, a lot of third and medium and long emphasis, as well as a red zone play it period, and then finished off the day with a really, really competitive overtime period, splitting the squads and putting them on opposite sidelines and just calling the game. Okay. And hats off to the defense. They brought it today. It was a different type of intensity, different type of communication. They showed up and showed up big. So really competitive, and expecting this type of competitive to carry over and for us to stay at it to continue to have a successful spring.
Mario, upon looking back at the film from Saturday and Tuesday and today, just did you see separation in the young quarterback group there to make I don't want to say a change, but to give one more reps with the twos or any reps with the ones this week or going forward?
Well, you know what? They're still getting their even reps, and I think their performances merit that. After Saturday, we'll take a look at it again. They all do things well. They've all taken their turns with their mistakes also. The most important part is right now they're getting a ton of reps. They all are. And might be a good idea next time I come in, I'll bring in the actual number of plays and the actual number of passes they've thrown and decisions they've made in the running game. But it is, you're looking at 280 reps, something of that nature, minimum, not counting your 7-on-7 periods and the other stuff. We go, when we go spring ball, we go. So we want to make it not only fair, we want to make it productive. So we'll hopefully have some more info on that for you guys next time.
Hey, Coach, I was just wondering, now that you've had the benefit of seeing the film from the scrimmage, any of the offensive linemen kind of, now that you've seen that, stand out and you go, yeah, nice job?
Well, a guy that just keeps coming and coming because he's playing with his feet in the ground, getting his hands inside, playing with great leverage, is George Moore, being very physical, very accurate with his hands. TJ Bass has been a very physically dominant player. I think his name gets lost out there. He doesn't get much of the credit, but he's really becoming something special. But I think all those guys are doing a great job. You've heard a lot about the guys that have started here this past year, guys that really got to be pointed out. Always Alex Forsythe, of course, as a leader, because he's a guy that started for us. But Dawson Jaramillo has done a really, really good job. Gosh, I could go right down the line because, we'd be here for a little bit. They're popping. I know a guy like Stephen Jones. I don't know if you've had a chance to speak with him a little bit. He's down to 338 pounds, very lean, could run all day, multiple position value, has played left, has played right, has played inside, done just about everything except snap the ball. The young guys still continue to shine. JD, Jonathan Dennis, I got to really single him out because he's jumped in there, him and Marcus Harper at multiple positions, and they are pushing hard for playing time. Prada Faope, getting down. He's lost a lot of weight he needed to shed, and he's moving great, very physical, large human, the human eclipse, we call him, him and Logan Sagapulo, just when those guys fit you, I mean, it's, imagine that. Those two guys fit you, and then cross patterns behind them. I mean, you might not find them for half a day. So things like that have really been popping out there in practice. Really, really proud of those guys.
Mario, we saw glimpses of it on Saturday, but what excites you the most about what this offense could look like in the fall now with a full spring with Coach Moorhead?
It just feels like a complete offense. It feels like you've had an off season, like you've had time to really jump into the details of the playbook, because if you really want to get good at what you do, you got to know what to do, how to do it, and why we're doing it that certain way. And those are the levels and the things we're hitting on now. When guys understand that, they can play really fast. Coach Moorhead has done an awesome job of incorporating everybody and really spreading the ball around. And the combination of creating explosive plays, of using misdirection, of pushing the ball down the field, also getting it out there horizontally, and getting downhill in the run game, as well as getting wide and outside in the run game. So just we feel like we're getting to a point where the entire playbook is going to be, something that we can use, and he's just using the personnel that we've acquired and that we've developed. So very excited about the offense.
with Anthony being so experienced and the other guys being inexperienced, and with him getting all the first team reps, and how much of an uphill battle is it right now, do you think, for some of these younger guys to challenge him and maybe take this from him this fall?
Well, I wouldn't call it uphill. I think if you present it to your team that way, I think you lose the concept of competition, and I think you hurt your team. I think the worst thing you can do is make any player on the team too comfortable. At the same time, you have to be real, and Anthony has earned the reps that he has gotten, and we don't sense at all any entitlement from him. And instead, what you see is a guy that's really taken ownership and has a lot of pride in what he does, and a guy that you can coach hard and that responds to that, and a guy that's also grooming the younger guys, knowing that those younger guys are going to be thrust into situations where they compete with him for reps. So all in all, I would never, for any of these positions, because you know what, guys, you just never know. You never know what a guy's going to do by practice 14. You never know what he's going to look like after another off season, another summer of conditioning, and then what he's going to do when he comes out there in fall practice. So that's the way we look at it.
Mario, after what he did last season for you, Jamal Hill filling in for Javon, making some spectacular plays in the Pac-12 title game, seems like a guy with a really high ceiling. What is the next evolution for him on your team?
Just keep the limit the sky. Just keep him going up. He's a special guy, special player, special person, really starting to develop as a leader as well. I think sometimes we don't realize these guys are young now. You know, you got a season and really 7 games under your belt, but it's moving fast because now all of a sudden it's year 3. And after having made the plays that he's made and the big games that he's done them in, now we lean on guys like that, and he responds really well. So Jamal, if we're running our special teams coverage units, he's going to be the first one up there just flying down the field and trying to light somebody up, playing physical, playing with technique. And when he's off the field, he's going to grab the younger guys. He's going to coach them. You know, he's going to be an extension of the coaching staff and a really strong advocate, and a guy that really implements and enforces the culture of what we do and how we do things. So can't say enough great things about him. Huge year coming up for him, a huge future for Jamal Hill.
You've talked a fair amount about Logan Sagapolu. Yeah, I screwed that. Sagapolu this spring. When you guys got him last fall coming off of his mission, just like what sort of shape was he in? And then also on your end from an evaluation standpoint, like putting the faith in a player to sign him and then wait 2 years, and in this case it was 1.5 years for him to come back. Like how much trust and faith do you have to put into that player that 2 years later when you open up that gift that he's going to be in a position to contribute to your football team?
Well, he comes from an exceptional family, a family that looked us dead in the eye and said, if this is where he chooses to go and signs with, this is where he's going to come back to when the time is right. And isn't that awesome to know that this day and age that still exists, right? It's he was raised right. He was brought up to do things the right way, to always give his best effort, to stay humble. And that's what he's brought to the table. This is a very large human being. Like when you put him in the DEXA machine, which measures bone density and body fat, muscle composition. I mean, this guy, he tests out like a tyrannosaur, and he's got just large bones, big structure, heavy muscle density, a lot of power. This guy will naturally squat, in the 700-pound range. I know you've seen the videos. His upper body strength matches that, and now that he's put himself at a playing weight where he's nearing his optimal weight, but now where he's functional and he's strong. The trust is in the fact that his DNA, his upbringing, what we saw on tape, and the relationship we built with him, he has completely upheld his side of the agreement. And we're proud of him. He's got a big future. He's a physical guy. He is fun to be around, and really glad he's here.
Logan Sagapolu is who he's talking about there. Pretty darn cool to hear Coach Cristobal talking about that. Raised right. Gotta love to hear that. We're going to hear more from Mario Cristobal as he met with the media today. Every time we talk with Coach Cristobal, it's brought to you by the William Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with cancer care you can count on. Next up, more with the head coach for Oregon football, Mario Cristobal, after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Learfield IMG College.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union inside the Country Financial Studio. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, Coach Cristobal just wrapping up his press conference. We're going to talk with Grame Abel coming up, also Leah Freeman from Oregon Soccer as we look back on that historic season for the Ducks. That is going to be, by the way, our Women in Flight update of the week, brought to you by our friends at the Duck Story. Proud supporter of Women in Flight. Talking with Grame Abel and Leah Freeman here coming up in just a little while. How about more with Mario Cristobal, though? We continue his conversation with the media, including what the spring game format may look like here as we're 10 days away. Coach Cristobal continuing his chat today.
Yeah, Mario, where has Anthony Brown progressed from where he was last year till now? It is at a point now where he is getting all the quarterback reps. Where are you seeing this improvement to have him be in that position to get all those reps?
Two things that's really stick out are pocket presence and decision making, and not only making the right decision but making it quickly. He's always been a very accurate passer. You know, leaving Boston College and coming over here, not having the spring and really not being able to be involved in the summer, jumping in the fall ball and then having that cut off, that's a lot. No matter how much experience you have, that's a lot on a quarterback. So for him to be able to get the reps that he's had and to respond and have the success that he's had, he just every day he gains more and more trust of the players and the coaching staff. But and that being said, the other quarterbacks are gaining a lot of trust as well. Anthony has done a really, really good job, and with the players, with his progression, with all that stuff. Team pass has really helped him a lot. It's helped all our quarterbacks a lot, which is we deviate and we kind of get away from 7-on-7 just because you're going against a whistle, you know, and not much resistance when it's just air and a coach blowing a whistle. So we've created situations where that pocket is uncomfortable. It's constricted. It also incorporates scramble drill, things that are real live football, situational ball, and it's paid off. He's doing a great job.
So you do more team passing than 7-on-7 passing? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
With turnovers such an emphasis for the defense, Mario, this spring, insofar as you can measure it and the progress there, how do you feel like there has been progress? Obviously, we saw on Saturday Steve with an interception, Bennett nearly with one. Barone, I couldn't tell if it hit the turf or not, but looked like it was either a PBU or a pick. But what have you been able to assess in terms of making those improvements you're looking for?
Well, when you make it a huge point of emphasis, it has to be more than verbal, and that's what the coaching staff has done. That's what the players have done. Today was a day where it really, really popped. Today they were extremely active in terms of communication, getting around the football and getting multiple hats of the ball. Everybody, it seemed like, it was one of those days where it seems like they had an extra guy out there all the time. But it's paying dividends. It is. And we need it, right? If you look at critical statistics in football and how the game has changed, that's one that really, still sticks out as a determinant factor in teams having successful seasons and not. Certainly an area that we had to build upon from last year, because last year we just didn't take it away much, and we gave it away more than we typically have. So on both sides of the ball, it's a really big point of emphasis, so we're spending a lot of time on it.
Coach, it seems like it's far away, but in 10 days will be the spring game in Autzen. A couple were just, you guys have an idea on the format and then reaction to the release you guys made on Saturday about more fans in the stands? How exciting will it be to have even more people there to enjoy it with you?
Yeah, I'll tell you, this past Saturday was an awesome feeling for everybody. It really was. And next Saturday will be even better. Format, we're going to do our best to play football, like a regular game, I should say. I'm sorry. We're going to try to get enough to where it feels and looks like a game, at least for a half, but we want to make it as much game-like as possible. Look, we practice smart. We practice hard, but we practice smart. We're physical, but we stay up off the ground. And this is another opportunity to get better. And that's how our guys see it. Our guys know that we have to play football and play situational football as much as possible. Playing in front of fans is something that our guys, and really not many guys, have done in over a year. There's a lot of value to playing in front of people, and it's no longer ambient noise from a speaker. It's a live crowd, right? Being able to block that out, being able to go and take care of your assignments and play football and be dialed in and locked in. So, but we can expect, your typical spring game here in Eugene.
Mario, I think you said you guys have installed enough to last for 2.5 seasons already. Given that you've thrown so much at these guys, what do you kind of want the focus to be for this last third of spring practice?
Sure. Well, we still have a couple days of 4-minute, 2-minute, which that always presents situations within themselves, and a couple more days to short yards and goal line. We're incorporating red zone, third down ball, short, medium, and long all the time. We're incorporating 2-minute drill in every single practice. So by the end of spring ball, we would have hit our benchmarks for all those situations and then some, which is going to provide us with great cut-ups, great experience, great teaching tapes for the offseason. But the message today when we were done with practice is that we just got to stay at it. There can't be any type of fading into, okay, it's practice 10, now we're getting to the last couple. It just doesn't work that way. Not for a team that's trying to get better and trying to continue to elevate the standard. And the older guys, they've done a really good job of pressing that issue. Added competition has made our program better. It certainly has upped the level of urgency out there. You could see it, you could feel it, the intensity. So all those things will be emphasized to make sure that everything we're doing is quality work to be able to give us the best opportunity to win football games.
Great stuff from Mario Cristobal, the Oregon football head coach, meeting with the media today. Spring game is 10 days away. More details coming as we'll have fans at Autzen. Really looking forward to it. When we come back, Grame Abel, first-year head coach, Oregon soccer, going to join us. First winning record for that program since 2006, and he did it in his first year. We look back on a historic season with Grame Abel. Also going to talk with an all-Pac-12 honoree and freshman goalkeeper Leah Freeman. That's all to come on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Dear Freedom, Toyota hybrids say, let's go faster and further with 10 hybrid models to choose from and tons of top tech. The best part? Every Toyota hybrid offers an extended hybrid battery warranty for 10 years or 150,000 miles. So let's go places. Toyota hybrids.
For Toyota hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and fuel cell and battery electric vehicles beginning with model year 2020. The hybrid HV battery is covered for 10 years from original date of first use or 150,000 miles, whichever comes first. Coverage is subject to terms and conditions of your new vehicle limited warranty. See owner's warranty and maintenance guide for details.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
It's important to buckle up your kids.
I know.
Sometimes car seats can be complicated.
I know.
And if your child's in the wrong seat and you get into a crash,
I know.
it could lead to a serious injury.
I know.
So you're 100% sure you have the right car seat for your child's age and size?
I don't know.
Don't think you know. Know you know. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Make sure you have the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Joining us on the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line, it is now I think I can say second-year head coach. Grame Abel is joining us, Oregon soccer head coach, to look back on the first winning season in the Ducks program since 2006, and it came in the first year. So, let's just start here, Coach. First of all, congratulations. What a tremendous season. Just congrats on what was a great year, and I think the future sure is bright.
Yeah, I mean, we started the season well. It's funny, we started the season with a Chai Cortez corner, Ali Cook header, ended the season with a Chai Cortez corner, Ali Cook header. So start as you mean to go on. No, it was a great season. All things considered, we laid a good foundation for the group, and our kids were awesome. In terms of dealing with a pandemic and a whole build-up where there was a lot of things that were unknown, and our kids dealt with it tremendously, and they got the rewards of a winning season, which was huge for us.
All right, so let's go back in time. Your first year was quite something, right? If I told you, Coach, during your interview process, hey, this is what the first year is going to look like, what would you have said to me?
I said, no way. After the Gonzaga game, I'm like, hey, we're done after this. At least I got to coach a game at Oregon.
That's right. Hey, how do you put in perspective, though, just what a wild ride it was for you, for your family? And I asked that question sort of tongue-in-cheek because we described it on the show earlier this week about how you become a father for the third time, and then you're racing down I-5 to come coach a team. I mean, how crazy has this been for you?
No, I think it's just about taking everything in your stride, right? I mean, it's a unique for me. It was the first time being a head coach as well, when everything kind of falls on your shoulders in terms of having to deal with those pieces and having to make sure that all of our student athletes have what they need. And I give all credit to our entire support staff, our administration, because they made it pretty easy for us in terms of based on all the challenges, giving us all the information that we need, giving us all the guidelines that we need. And we just ultimately followed the guidelines, we ultimately had, football obviously played before us, so we were able to get some information from them in terms of how to do it and how to make sure we could survive the season, etc. And again, to get through the entire season without losing a game as well was incredible. So administration, our behind the scenes staff, our student athletes, everyone pulled together and got it done.
You had some pretty impressive performances, as we're talking with Grame Abel, Oregon soccer head coach. Coming out yesterday, Zoe Hasenauer, Croy Soto, Leah Freeman, all third team, all Pac-12. Leah Freeman, your goalkeeper, also on the all-freshman team. Those are just the ones that got recognized by the conference, but still pretty impressive for them to get that recognition, huh?
Yeah, awesome. I mean, it's another opinion of people who we respect with regards to the coaches and within our conference. I can't speak highly enough of all of our student athletes. We said from the very start it wasn't going to be the games that defined our season. It was going to be our day-to-day environment. And, right from when we came back in August and we did not know what was happening, our environment was top notch. We were raising the bar every single day in terms of what we needed to do. And our student athletes continue to do that in the classroom and on the field. And again, that's why they got the rewards that they did in this past season.
Let's talk a little bit about Leah Freeman. A big reason why you guys led the conference in goals allowed against. 0.69 goals that you guys gave up per contest, Coach. That's a pretty staggering, awesome number.
Yeah, it's really low. I think it's the lowest I've ever been a part of in my collegiate career. I said we had a meeting, right after the selection show just to kind of recap and before we sent everyone on their way. And I said, that's going to be pretty hard to beat, moving forward. So, Leah was in the goal for us. Obviously, Charlotte played in the last game as well. And, our entire back line, entire team, worked incredibly hard, to make that happen, defending in set pieces, defending in open play. Leah had some great moments during the season. Charlotte had some great moments against Oregon State at the end. So Leah gets the reward for it in terms of the conference piece and things like that. But again, an overall team effort.
I think that's cool that you bring that up because you talk so much about how there could be individual accolades, but a lot of athletes will always say, well, this is really a team award, right? I mean, and that's really what I thought your team did such a cool job of demonstrating throughout the course of the season, Coach. I mean, how did you get this team to buy into the culture that you wanted so quickly?
We were very honest with them, very, very honest. Right from the very start, the very first meeting I had with them when I was hired, I remember sat in my car and my kids were going crazy in the background. So I was sat in the car and I said to him, this is going to be brutally hard. It's going to be, one of the hardest things you've ever done athletically before in order to get this thing moving in the direction that we wanted to do it. But I'll tell you, it'll be well worth it. So we were just very, very honest, every step of the way with them. We give them the practice plans each morning. They know exactly what's coming. They know exactly what type of practice session it's going to be. We give them very honest feedback. Manny and Rachel and Thomas, our coaching staff, do an incredible job with the feedback that we give them constantly. Because we want to put it all out there, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And open discussions that are never easy at times, but ultimately it gets us all moving in the right direction. And that's how we'll always be. And our kids have adjusted to that tremendously well. And again, they've gotten the rewards for it.
Graham Abel, our guest, the Oregon soccer head coach, talking about a successful season and then looking ahead to a quick turnaround, which we'll get to in a second. Coach, what will you remember most from this season? And knowing that it's, one, a pandemic, but then also, two, your first season in that chair. I mean, what will you remember most about this year?
Our kids' ability to persevere. I mean, it goes straight from the very first game of the season. I'd never coached a game with before. We only played 11-11 about, I think, 2 weeks prior. And I think we scored a goal in that game in the 87th minute to win it. We did it against Arizona when we scored late. We were able to do it against Oregon State when we scored in overtime. And so just our kids' ability to persevere through it all and really, have that grit, which, will serve them, later on in life as well. I mean, if you've got that piece of your character taken care of, then you'll be good in whatever you do in life. So just the perseverance for them to keep grinding all the time. With all the restrictions that we had in place and all the different things we put on them in terms of, wear your mask constantly, weren't able to see family on the road. That was something we took from football, that worked for them, and, things that were just different, and they stuck with it. And great job from our kids. Unbelievable job.
What's the offseason look like for you now? And I know recovery is going to be really important because you and I have talked both on and off air that your squad had a lot of mileage this year, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, we had one player clock up 17 kilometers in a game. So, I think Eden Hardy ran about 1.2, 1.3 kilometers of high-speed running in a game. So, yeah, the physical piece of the game for our student athletes was high, and it was a reason why we were able to have some of the success in games. The thing now is we have to shut them down completely with the quick turnaround. We said when we started going into this season, not knowing what was happening. It was the team that was going to get it right in the back end of the summer through the fall, going into a non-traditional season, per se. Whichever team got it right was going to have the most success. And I've said it before, our sports science team helped us tremendously to get that right. It's the same thing now. Whoever gets it right over the next few months will help for the preparation for that season in the fall. So we shut our kids down now completely. There's some that will be at home. There's some that will come back and do some small individual stuff in the middle to the back end of May before we hit dead week. And then we go into a summer plan from there that we'll put together for them. So it's about getting them covered, not only physically, but mentally too. I mean, with everything that's been going on in the world, we want to make sure our kids are in a good place mentally as well.
3 and roughly a half months sounds like a long time from now until your first match coming up again in August. That's the plan, but it's not really all that long, is it? I mean, how much time is that really for an off season to take shape as you just described?
I mean, it's right around the normal time that actually most semester schools have. You know what I mean? We're obviously a little bit different. It's a quarter system school, so we'll shut them down, like I said, for about just under 3 weeks right now to let them recover completely, and then we'll put them back on a physical plan that starts to bring them along slowly and gets them to a place. We left in such a great place physically from a fitness standpoint, so we'll bring them back along, and then once we hit June, past finals, then we'll start to get them back on a plan that starts to bring them back to where we need them to be in preseason.
What's your roster going to look like next year, Coach?
Now we've got 3 out of the 4 seniors that will come back. I think we'll have a few student athletes that will look for new opportunities elsewhere. And then, recruiting class should get, released here over the next couple of weeks. So we get a large chunk of what we had this season back, which is great. They know how I work. I know how they work. They're used to me now in terms of, we're pretty demanding of them. So they use that piece, and they're used to the honesty that we have. So really looking forward to building on the foundation that we've laid in place.
Talking about that recruiting piece, so what is the schedule now for you guys? Recruiting gets to open up again a little bit this summer. How are you going to go about recruiting? What strategies do you have in place for that in this offseason?
I thought it doesn't change. We go get the very best student athlete, potential student athletes that we can. It's as simple as that. And we've identified the areas that we need. Our 22 class is pretty much wrapped up. Now looking at probably the 2023 class and looking at what needs that we have there. We obviously had some, the exposure of this season, some of the wins that we had, and some of the results that we had help us with that piece. So June 1, we'll hit the road again. We'll get out there and we'll see what we can find.
All right. Lastly, I got to ask you just a general soccer question. Any thoughts on the Super League?
Ooh, well, all the English teams have pulled out now, so it was big controversy. So, yeah, I mean, there's so much money in the European game. It's crazy, the TV money. I mean, a lot of the TV money comes from the US. It's crazy. You can actually watch more soccer in the US than you actually can do in the UK. So, we have the ability to watch every game in the English Premier League live every single weekend. So the money in the game in Europe is crazy, which the beauty for us on the women's side of the game, it's now filtering down to the women's side of the game in the UK as well. I think the European game in general on the women's side has blown up, and the quality of the teams over there is phenomenal now. Potentially, eventually, it'll surpass the NWSL, I'd imagine, just because of the money that's pumped into it.
I thought it was cool just from my perspective, like you're talking broadcasts and all that. I thought it was cool that the fans had such an influence on the directions that these teams took. I think that just speaks to the power of a fan base, don't you?
It does, and they are passionate, and they are passionate people. So. I'm passionate about my club, Liverpool, but they are passionate people. So, yeah, I think it's the right thing. You want to keep we obviously have promotion relegation in our leagues in the UK, and that's a good thing. It keeps you competitive and keeps kind of the romance of the sport there and as well. I know it's a little bit different than the MLS, but it keeps the romance the romance is a good thing in terms of the passion that goes with the game. And so, yeah, glad there's going to be no Super League, and we'll stick probably with the Champions League format and the domestic league. So I think that's a good thing.
I like it. See, this is why we have Coach Abel on the show. He gives us the overall soccer perspective. So, Coach, thank you, because we talked about it on the show a little bit, and I said, when all this was going on earlier in the week, we're talking to Coach Abel later in the week. Everybody just hang on a couple days, and we'll get the expert in here. Coach, thank you.
I don't know if I'm an expert on it or not. Don't quote me on those pieces. So.
I think expert is relative. You're an expert to the two of us sitting in this room, all right?
I'll do.
Grame Abel, hey, congratulations on a great year, Coach. It's been so much fun getting to know you, and I look forward to when we can actually have you sitting in the studio and we can do these conversations live. Bring in your whiteboard, break it all down for us, all right? Educate us on this great game, and I'm looking forward to it, Coach. Enjoy the offseason. Congratulations on becoming a father again, and here's to another wild ride in Season 2, huh?
Well, I appreciate all you guys' support, and we'll continue to do everyone proud.
I hope so. And I don't just hope so, I know so. Graham Abel, Oregon soccer head coach, joining us. Coming up later on the show, Leah Freeman, who we've been talking about, the outstanding goalkeeper. We're going to talk with her, and still a lot more to come on this edition of Duck Insider. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Hi, welcome to the Spicy Drive-In. May I take your order?
Can I get the spicy chicken sandwich, please?
The spicy chicken is an excellent choice, sir. And to drink?
Whatever's fine.
Oh, may I make a beverage pairing recommendation this evening?
Sure.
If we are feeling especially bold tonight, sir, I would recommend the Mountain Dew with that. It's bravely unrestrained with a very alive aroma that pairs wonderfully with your spicy chicken. It's followed by a hint of zesty citrus flavor.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I'm sure you already know this, sir, but remember to appreciate the nose first by giving the Mountain Dew a little swirl to relieve volatilize it.
What?
To change the flavor compounds and activate your taste buds to get them fully primed for that chicken sandwich.
It's delicious.
Now you're getting the hang of it. The muscular flavor charge characteristics of Mountain Dew make for an absolutely epic mouthfeel when paired with spicy cuisine. It is quite on point, sir.
Dude, it's a perfect match. Like they were made for each other.
So true, so true.
When you want to make good food bolder and bold food better, do the Dew.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics. This is the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Listen and imagine. It takes 5 seconds to send a text, and for those 5 seconds, you're driving blind. Life is worth more than a text. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Everybody buckle up.
Mom.
Buckle up.
Let's go.
Buckle up.
Can we go to the store? Mom, can we get some ice cream?
Everybody, buckle up.
A lot goes on in the car, but you're in control. So only move when you hear the click that says they're buckled in. Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. We were just talking during the break, as we told you, that we were going to talk with an all Pac-12 honoree in Leah Freeman, who's kind enough to join us via the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line. Okay, Leah, first and foremost, normally I have to tell you that your first interview that we would do with you, you'd be sitting in this chair. Unfortunately, this is the world that we live in, but in the beauty of modern technology, you're back at home in the Bay Area right now, aren't you?
I am, yes.
So, man, this is wild. I still just can't quite wrap my head around this, that you're a student going to school here at the U of O, and I think back to if I was sitting in my childhood bedroom while trying to go to college classes, I don't know how I would have handled it. How have you been able to handle that so far?
Honestly, it's been a nice change of pace because the difference isn't that much. I'm either doing it in my bedroom in Eugene or doing it in my bedroom here. So it's nice because then at least now I have a dog with me. So it helps a little bit.
What kind of dog?
A Pipple mix.
All right. Well done.
Yes.
So, all right, I got to give you the full bio for Leah Freeman. After one season in goal for the Ducks, the freshman goalkeeper out of Berkeley, California. Yes, we will talk a little bit about that. We did during the break, and those of you who've listened to me talk long enough know that I have a love affair with Top Dog every time the Ducks play in Berkeley, and I'm glad to hear that it is still as good as I remember, as Leah reminded us. Leah, something that everybody has to do on the show is tell their 2-minute life story when they come on for the first time. Now, Leah, you're competitive. We will time you, and there's a leaderboard here in the studio. The closest we've ever had anyone get is 1 minute 59.58 seconds. Can you beat it with your 2-minute life story? Go.
So I was born in Berkeley, California. I lived here my whole life. I was 4 when my little sisters were born, got 2 little twins, had an older brother. I went to Cragmont Elementary and King Middle School, and then Berkeley High, which I just finished. At Berkeley High, we had a really cool high school soccer team that was super dope, and it was really nice to play with them. And then I moved to a club in Danville. I was doing the commute to Danville for a while. I don't know. I feel like I didn't do that many things in my life. I made some really great friends. I have some very great friends and that I had in high school that I still have now. And then when I was a freshman, I got a dog, which was super nice. And my parents were from Moraga originally, which is still in the Bay Area, so they've always been here. And then I went to Oregon, and I made some more best friends that I loved, who I'm living with now, and then other people that I'm not living with now. The first thing I did when I came home, which was a huge thing, was take a nap, because that's what I always do everywhere I go in my life. I feel like I'm not a very interesting person. I can't think of that many things that I've done.
Well, I'm going to add to your 2-minute life story, because this is what I do. I brag about people like you. She was also the goalkeeper for the U.S. U18 and U16 national teams, was the number 35 player in the class of 2019, the number 3 goalkeeper nationally, and she decided to come and play for the Ducks. Also, at one point in your career, you got the shutout goal during the United States 5-0 win against Norway in the Tri-Continental Cup, which was in 2020. So can you tell us just about your national team experience? And I could go, I should say that I could go on and on about the accomplishments of Leah, but I can already tell that she's too humble to do that herself, which is what I'm for. Can you tell us about your experience playing for Team USA? And is that something that you ever thought you would do when you were a young player growing up?
Yeah, actually, so 3rd grade, when I was in 3rd grade, my teacher had us like tell her basically what our dream was and what our like 2 things that our dream was, and then she would draw up a person that like matched that with like our occupation or something. And my first dream was that I wanted, at that age, I wanted to play in the Pac-12, and my second dream was that I wanted to at some point in my life like play professionally or play for the US team. And my first invite actually came less than a week after I committed to Oregon. And I was like younger, I was a freshman, and I was the end of my freshman year. And getting that was one of the most like, I don't know, like jaw-dropping things. Like I was so excited and so happy to be there, and just like so honored to be able to wear the crest, which was really nice. And then after that camp, which was super cool, and like it was hard, like it wasn't an easy experience, but it was something that very much like pushed me, showed me where I needed to improve, showed me the things I needed to do. It was very like eye-opening in that sense. And that was something that was incredible. After that one, there was a camp that was going internationally that I wasn't invited to, but 2 days before, a keeper got a concussion and I ended up going. And that one itself like probably was the one that shaped me the most, I guess. And really like showed me what I need to be doing, showed me that I wanted to do this and that I wanted to work hard. And like I ended up that year going into independent study and playing soccer and training for a good portion of the year, which was something that I realized it wasn't for me just because I like the social aspect of school, but it also like was the beginning part of me being able to like kind of separate like my training versus my schoolwork and like realize what I wanted to be doing. But playing like with them and like for that like wearing the crest was something that always like I was, it was kind of that I was proud of it, but also that like it just helped me like really look up to those women that have worn it before me and worn it at a higher level and with the senior team. And it just like, it was a really amazing experience.
That's awesome. So see, this is the kind of student athlete that comes to play here at Oregon. This is so cool. Leah Freeman joining us, an All Pac-12 honoree on the All Pac-12 team and on the All Pac-12 freshman team. I'm going to brag a little bit more about you. Led the Pac-12, the Ducks did, by the way, in goals allowed against at .69. Graham Abel said that it was the lowest number he's ever been a part of. Third nationally, Leah was, and tops in the power conferences in freshman goals against average among keepers who played at 1,200 minutes in net this season. So in other words, Leah's one of the best in the country, and she's playing here for the Ducks. I'm curious, Leah, why did you pick Oregon? Like, what was it about Oregon that you were like, yeah, I want to go be a Duck?
I think one of the biggest things was that my parents had seen the campus. They loved it. And so then when I started talking to the coaches and I took my visit up there, I had been told by people that when you go to the school that you're going to want to be at, like, you know it, you feel it and you know it. Yeah. And so I stood on that campus. I was 14, 15 years old. And I was like, I see myself going to this school. I love this school. I love the way that like it's green here. And I wasn't used to that. And like just the way that like everything is so beautiful there. And also just like the campus, the team, the environment, everything, like, it was something that I loved and something that I knew that I wanted to be a part of.
This first season, what will you remember most? Not only your first season playing collegiate soccer, but a year that we all know has been unprecedented.
Honestly, the win against Oregon State at the end of the season. Being a part of that, just seeing that ball go in the net and being able to see everybody run into that pile and just like watch our entire team together, like it felt so good. And it was amazing. It was probably my favorite part of the season.
Which I think, Leah, I want to remind everybody, that's really awesome because you weren't in goal for that. You got hurt. Leah toughed it out in the last few minutes against Washington State after suffering an injury. So you were rooting on from the sideline, and that's still your favorite memory. I think that says a lot about you and the teammate that you are for your squad. Now, similarly, what's the offseason going to look like for you all now? I mean, you guys are getting a little bit of break now, but I'm sure you're anxious to get back at it and get into what will be a regular fall season we all anticipate coming up starting in August.
Yeah, I think it's just everything getting ready for next season. We're taking our little break right now, but then we're going to start doing our performance plans and everything with that and talking to the coaches, figuring out what's best for each individual person and figuring out that. So I think it's just our mindset's very much like we are like happy with the step up that we've had, but the bar keeps raising, we keep pushing it, and we're going to keep moving forward from there and just getting ready for next season for it like to be more like a normal season.
So I see that you're an undeclared major right now. Has that changed?
Actually, the only reason I'm undeclared is because I'm picking between two, political science and sociology. I came in and I was like, I'm pretty sure I want to major in poli-sci, but I was like, I don't know. I kind of want to get into a couple classes, do a couple things. And then I started with a Soc class and I really loved my Soc class. And I've been taking a couple poli-sci ones like for the last couple terms. So I'm still deciding between the two, but I'm definitely leaning for one of those. And then hopefully like looking for a minor, maybe like journalism, public policy, something like that. Yeah.
I was a journalism major and then I double minored in computer information technology and business at Oregon. So you're speaking my language here, Leah, all right? So it didn't turn out too bad for people like me and Scott, you know? Yeah. So I can tell you right now you'll do it. Leah, I got to tell you, I could talk to you for another 10, 20, 30 minutes. I'm going to have to let you go as we're running out of time. But thanks for being a Duck. Thanks for taking the time to come on and chat with us. And we'll do this again, all right? Best of luck in your career, and here's to a great sophomore season.
Thank you.
Leah Freeman, we'll have to celebrate with Top Dog at some point. I promise.
Oh, of course.
We'll do that. We'll do that. An all Pac-12 honoree and a great Duck. There's no doubt about it. When we come back, wrapping up the show after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter, Brooklyn, was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Wrapping up the show today, man, Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. It was awesome talking with Leah Freeman, talking with Grame Abel as we kind of wrap up what was a truly great Oregon soccer season, man. You know, the first winning record for the program since 2006. I think Leah's a big reason why, you know, and you could tell. I think everybody listening to that, you could tell that she's not one that's going to sit there and brag about herself. That's why I did, you know, but that's, and what stuck out to me the most is that I asked her about her favorite memory, and it's one that she didn't even play in. She got hurt in the Washington State game, second to last game of the year. Toughed it out in the final minutes. Doesn't play against Oregon State. Her backup, Charlotte Brisley, comes in. Charlotte does great. Ducks win the game, and that's her favorite memory. It's one that she didn't even play in. That's a teammate right there. That's cool from Leah Freeman. That's really cool. We could have talked to her. I told her we'd go no more than 10 minutes, and we went close to that. I could have talked to her for hours. She's great, and we're looking forward to what I think potentially a future All-American in goal for the Ducks could do. 0.69 goals allowed against. That's crazy. She's a big reason why. Man, what a day. Tomorrow, going to talk a little Oregon defense. Guys like Noah Sewell meeting with the media and a full preview of Oregon baseball, the big series. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart savings strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges,